Okay, Oscar fans, we are here with Brian Truitt of USA Today and Susan Wloszczyna, recent hire as senior editor of Gold Derby, of course, but longtime Oscar writer for USA Today. So you guys have been together in another life, and you still connect, right?
Yep. She handed me a baton, and I've been like carrying it ever since.
Has he lived up to your expectations, Susan?
Of course. We're very
okay. And I was just hearing before we signed on here that these guys both live in the, of course, D.C. area, having been at one time both working for USA Today, and so now they hang out at screenings. Brian, Best Picture, we're 72 hours away from the PGA Award, which often predicts the Oscar. We've seen the Golden Globes. We've seen the Critics' Choice. Oscar noms are next Tuesday. What the hell's going on? What's really ahead for Best Picture to win? I mean,
that all depends on who you talk to at hour you talk to them. I feel like it's still A Star Is Born, just, because it's not problematic. It's gotten like a lot, it swept the guild in terms of kind of the major honors. It seemed like it's the only thing that makes sense to me to win. And there's a lot of things that are like could get nominations at this point, but at least to win A Star Is Born still seems like the best chance.
Susan, where do you stand? Pipe in here.
I think now Roma, just because. We talked about this in another video, but the fact that they're kind of not really supporting Bradley Cooper very much for any of his number of, positions, and he seems to be overlooked. It's his movie, and Alfonso Cuarón is winning stuff. And, I think Roma might be the compromise this year between, the front runners, that it's, obviously they've rewarded him before, but they never gave him Best Picture yet. But, as we've said, it breaks some of the rules of being streaming and also being a foreign language film, which has never happened with a Best Picture winner. So, a few things will happen, but I think actually Alfonso Cuarón has done more in his movie, except for not starring in it, behind the scenes with editing and writing and cinematography and all that. And it's his story too. It's very personal to him. So, as much as there is something to be said for, Bradley Cooper being a first-time director and doing this well, I looked up, there's only been 6 first-time directors who've won, I think.
Pardon me while I
hope it's somebody yelling at you again.
What Susan's referring to, and I won't reveal the name of the current contender, but her friend was just chewing me out on the phone because they don't like Gold Derby's predictions. But
scandalous.
Imagine that. Brian, this is a race.
Yes.
And everything Susan said just now is true. But we're about to see PGA, DGA, Oscar nominations, and everything can change on that. Spike Lee can win DGA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Black Panther could win PGA Best Picture, and that often predicts the Oscars. Let's make an allowance for the fact that that it's a fluid race still, even though yes, it looks like it's Cuarón / Roma now.
I mean that's the kind of the weird thing about the preferential ballot too, because if a lot of people have Star or Roma at the top, that might split the vote, and you could have like BlacKkKlansman or even Green Book or Black Panther. Whoever gets those like 2 and 3 choices for people, that could just totally kind of surprise and win. Especially if Black Panther kind of like leans toward like a Mad Max or Titanic and just posts a lot of technical categories and just kind of like it comes in with like a whole bunch, and then just that Best Picture nomination too, and that could carry it probably pretty far.
Well, I'm looking at our combined predictions, and Star Is Born is still above Roma, but it's got the dreaded downward red arrow.
Oh,
I don't know how our site knows when it's up and down, but
Well, that's a trending arrow for like 5 to 7 days, I think.
oh, okay.
And a lot of the experts are just now updating their predictions. We still, only about half of us have updated at this point. So that what's happening is we're seeing a kind of reaction to the win by Roma at Critics' Choice and Star is Born coming down a bit. But I don't know where we would stand if all of the experts had updated their predictions now. And I'm not sure how valid that is anyway, because it's the Wild West right now and anything can happen. Brian, if Spike Lee wins DGA, that's the game changer even for Cuarón at the Oscars, right? Or does he have that locked in?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if Spike Lee wins that, then yeah, I think there's like a lot of goodwill. Everything kind of shifts toward that because I think a lot of people really like that movie, and Adam Driver's in there, and I think he's probably going to win screenplay too. So I feel like kind of the wins may shift toward that. But that's good. I think Cuarón's going to be hard to beat in terms of like a lot of those directors awards because I think I think people really love what he did.
Yeah, but still, Spike Lee's never been nominated, so he's never been tested by DGA before, and he's only been nominated for a screenplay at the Oscars. We've not seen him tested there either. All right, Best Actress. Boy, that race is all over the place, right, Brian? Pipe in.
Who knows?
If you were Lady Gaga, you would have a little voodoo doll of Glenn Close.
Seriously. Like who saw Glenn Close and the wife coming in and just kind of like winning stuff? Well, saw them Susan. Susan knows everything. But I was really surprised when she won at the Globes, and it's interesting to kind of see her tie with Lady Gaga for at the Critics' Choice. So I think both of them are definitely getting in. I think it's how everything kind of falls from there. I think Olivia Colman is in there kind of, and I think she's pretty well loved. And does Emily Blunt get in? Does Yalitza I'm going to kill her name, Aparicio? I mean, does she get in? I mean, I think it's going to either be Gaga or Close who wins. I wouldn't have ever picked Glenn Close kind of going in. But now it looks like, I mean, she's never won an Oscar too. So that, I think this might be a lot of people being like, okay, this is finally her year. Let's give her the Denzel for the whole body of work.
Yeah.
Susan, are you at all?
Okay. Glenn has the coveted up arrow. So, and then you got everybody else, 1, 2, 5 is going down. That's what it looks like. I'm just judging from our chart.
I know, but which I'm never wrong, of course. But look, poor Olivia Colman is not out of this race. I think she was winning our odds for a while there. So look, just because Critics' Choice decided, we're going to give her that separate award for Best Comedy Actress rather than Best, and then they split the Drama Actress, giving it a tie to Glenn Close and Lady. That doesn't mean much because there are separate awards just like the Globe. So I think that we could be dismissing Olivia Colman way too fast here. Let's move on to Best Actor. Susan, what did your trending arrow show for Best Actor? That's Christian Bale with a green arrow up, right?
Let me see. I think so. Last time I looked. Oh yeah, he's got the arrow up. Yeah.
but
Bradley's going down. But I mean, I don't get our odds sometimes. But math is not my forte. So, but like 2,650 people, are voting for Bradley to win, and 1,615 for Bale. So I don't know. You told me there's other, factoids that factor in, but I'm just judging from the arrows from now on. Those are.
All right, well, let's ask a real expert. Forget the arrows for a second.
Okay.
Come on, Brian. Where do you stand on Best Actor?
I mean, I feel like, again, if it was my vote, it would go to Bradley Cooper because I feel like, some dude, acting and singing is he's doing a lot of stuff in that movie. And I mean, that is his movie. I mean, Lady Gaga does play, an important role and she's good in it, but that is really Bradley Cooper's movie, both direct, behind the camera and in front of it. So I feel like, if I was having a choice, that's my pick. It all kind of depends on how Vice is how it does. I think it's still a polarizing thing, and we haven't seen really what the Academy thinks of it yet. The Golden Globes seem to they gave it a lot of nominations, but didn't give it any wins. So I think if it's either Christian Bale or Bradley Cooper that does win, but if the Academy goes all in with Star is Born, then I think that helps Cooper way more than Bale.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Rami Malek here, and I think a lot of people think he's going to win SAG, and that usually projects the Oscar winner. Come on, Rami, Susan, pipe in here. He can win, right? or no? Are you fighting me on this?
I don't want to alienate any of the millions and millions and millions of people who write about him every day in our forums.
Well, tough job being an Oscarologist.
The movie. Okay, Rami is more the movie than even Bradley Cooper is his movie. So, if anything is going to win, it's going to be him, I think.
Really?
Did you just switch to Rami Malek in front of us?
No, I'm saying if they love this movie, it's because of him.
What is going to happen? Tell me what. Come on, this is where we have to stick our necks out.
I feel that poor Viggo Mortensen is just lost everything.
I know.
And also, Bradley Cooper. I don't hear excitement anymore for him. Okay, I don't.
He's splitting his boat is what's happening. He's splitting it between director and actor.
It's too much.
I think so. I think Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cooper's going to win. I don't know if everybody's going to vote Rami because he is kind of more that movie, but the movie's not good. And for me, he's just okay. And I feel like if the fans were voting for Oscars, then yes, he might have a chance. But it's not fans. I mean, it's like a whole industry of people who have to have seen this movie, and maybe not the one I saw, which kind of.
Yeah, but this is where the critics are wrong, though. I mean, it's got an A+ cinema score.
That's crazy.
No, it isn't. There are people like me who think it's a great movie.
Well, maybe.
I sat there on the Fox lot in the Zanuck Theater, just about 2 blocks from here where I live. And a lot of our Oscarologist pals were there in the audience, and they were hating on the movie before it started. That's a whole separate discussion. I just think that
I didn't sit there. I mean, I thought he was the saving grace of it, and also the few scenes that I like that they recreate the music. That's fun. It's not art necessarily, but it's fun. But I didn't sit there going, "Oh, this movie is one of the best movies." I mean, when I saw A Star Is Born, I was legitimately impressed. But this one, I said, "Oh, it's not the best thing. I wish it was a little better." But it's fun enough, and I didn't think it would have a chance like this. So.
Joyce Eng, our senior editor, Brian, has a theory which I think is fascinating, which she says that the Oscars and award voters don't blame the actors for the movie. Like in this case, if you're right, let's say the Oscar voters agree that Bohemian Rhapsody isn't that A+ that the audiences are giving it, but that's all forgiven. It'd be like Glenn Close being forgiven for the fact that the wife, isn't a player in any other category at the Oscars. Because it doesn't deserve to be, but that it's okay. It's not about that the Oscar voter look at the performance and the person.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, this is an whole industry full of artists. You can't tell me that they're going to watch those 2 movies, compare those 2 performances, and be more impressed with somebody who's lip syncing than somebody who's actually friggin' singing. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that.
Live.
I mean, come on. You know?
Okay. I
don't think they're voting on performances.
Bradley Cooper wear those teeth. That's
yeah. If Bradley Cooper wore prosthetic teeth, he would win, hands down. We wouldn't even be talking about this.
Okay, it's all about the teeth. All right, poor Regina King. She's not nominated at SAG. She's not nominated at BAFTA, but she keeps winning everywhere else. She's certainly going to be nominated on Tuesday at the Oscars. I've got her out front. I think there's this secret Regina King love everywhere. But if you just run the stats, it reminds us of the Sylvester Stallone race a few years ago, where idiots like me were going, oh, yeah, he's going to win. And then but he wasn't nominated at SAG. He wasn't nominated at BAFTA, and I should have known better. Now we're looking at the same kind of race, but Regina King is beloved in a way that Sly Stallone does have detractors in town. Make sense of all this, because the other contenders here are Amy Adams, Emma Stone, Rachel Weisz. What do you think?
I think the favorite actresses kind of split their vote. So I don't think either of them win. I think Regina King will win, but the other thing is too, Amy Adams has never won an Oscar again, and Amy Adams is very well loved. And we don't know how the Academy feels about Vice. So if you see a lot of Vice nominations coming out next Tuesday, then Amy Adams probably does have a shot.
Yeah.
Susan?
I liked her in Vice, but it wasn't like what you feel after you see Glenn Close in the Wife, and that film was made for her to do what she did. She's very much a secondary character, and she's not, she's Lady Macbeth with a bad hairdo or whatever. So it's not one, you could admire her performance, but you don't sit there. I wasn't wowed by her the way I felt about Christian Bale being Cheney. So,
but do you think any of these precursors matter, Susan? Like this BAFTA SAG thing, is it really something that applies in this case? Rules are made to be broken.
Well, I don't know if everybody calls each other all the time and say,
yeah. Do you realize?
And figures out what they're going to vote for. But, they're obviously they like her, but I don't know if they, unlike The Wife, which was basically built for Glenn Close to win an Oscar almost, I think this isn't her film as much. And so, if she were, even in a bigger role, I think it might have worked. And she had a few, the big scene is her doing, Macbeth with Christian Bale.
Right, literally doing Macbeth in bed, quoting 16th century text. All right, so best supporting actor, we'll end here. This goes back, Brian, to Joyce's theory about how the actors aren't bruised by the problems with the film. So if you accept that, then Mahershala Ali's okay, even though people are taking shots at Green Book, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's untouchable. Yeah, I think he wins.
I have a theory. This is the only one with theories, and I'm going to write about it because he's on True Detective, and it's getting good ratings. It's going to play all through Oscar voting time, right? So that's the reconnaissance effect. Not that he needs a renaissance himself, but it helps to remind people, I like this guy, on a weekly basis. And I think it did, I know it boosted McConaughey winning for Dallas Buyers Club. So I just wonder, if that will help him be more secure, because, personally for Chris' choice, I voted for Richard E. Grant, because here's something who's been so great for so long, and he doesn't get any recognition, and he's wonderful in this film. And Sam Elliott, I love Sam Elliott, but I don't think is this my favorite Sam Elliott role? He's perfectly good in it, but, he doesn't blow you away like he can, So
yeah, he probably needs one more scene.
And Timothée Chalamet.
Poor Timothy, he was out front early on with all of us, and boy, he's now down in fourth.
Because, he is getting dragged down with the movie because people didn't think that worked the way it should have. And you know, it should have been more equal billing, not just, you know, Steve Carell. So
Right.
I don't know. I like Adam Driver. I thought he was good. And Sam Rockwell, I like his nose. I guess that Joey Shugman, because he looks just like George W. Bush. But yeah, right now, this is not my most exciting category. You know, it's not the one I most have stakes in. I would be glad if any of the, you know, top 7 won, but it's not one that makes me tingle if they actually win.
Well, it could get us a lot more than tingly if all of a sudden Grant wins SAG, or you know, it's not. Yeah. Nothing goes according to script in Hollywood. Nothing, and front runners that were saying, oh, Glenn Close, Mahershala Ali, or you know, there are going to be some surprises in the next 2 weeks here, and we have to be open-minded about what those could be because it's going to change our predictions. We're fickle.
Well, how many times now have the DGAs picked like 1 or 2 that were different than the Oscars?
For nominees, they usually pick 2 that are not, or at least 1, but sometimes 2.
So that makes it, well, if you're in there, if you're one of the 3, then that makes it easier, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you can just toss out the other 2. It's down really to 3. Boy, it's further proof of William Goldman, who famously said, "Nobody knows nothing in Hollywood," right? No, but it's our jobs to pretend we do. Any final thoughts here, Brian?
Buckle up. I think it's gonna. You know, I think Tuesday's gonna happen, and I think you're gonna have a lot of gnashing of teeth because I think there's gonna be a lot of I think you're gonna have some wild cards. You know, kind of slip in there, you know, maybe in Best Picture, maybe in supporting actress that no one's expecting.
Gets in there, Roma is a go because, I mean, she is the movie. And if she gets the 5th slot and not Emily Blunt, you know, I think that's a sign that things are going that way.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. We will reconvene on the other side of the Oscar nominations and PGA, and we'll know more. Meantime, thanks a lot, you guys. Make sure your predictions are up to date, both of you. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.